So good day, sir. I'm John Sadat from BSN 1D. Major endocrine glands and some of their hormones. The hypothalamus makes hormones that will first be stored and secreted by the posterior pituitary. Second, regulate the anterior pituitary. The pituitary gland is a small sac comprised of a posterior lobe and an anterior lobe. The posterior lobe stores hormones that arrive ready-made from the hypothalamus, while the anterior lobe secretes its own hormones. The two main hormones that are produced by the hypothalamus to be secreted by the posterior pituitary are called oxytocin and antidiuretic hormone, or ADH, and also called vasopressin. First, oxytocin stimulates uterine contractions during labor and is also involved in the release of milk during breastfeeding. Second, antidiuretic hormone, or ADH, stimulates the kidneys to reabsorb water, inhibiting urine formation during times of low blood pressure, thus helping the body avoid dehydration. The anterior pituitary makes and secretes 6 hormones that regulate the other endocrine glands. These hormones are the first, growth hormone, promotes the growth of skeletal muscles and bones and directs cells to metabolize fat. Second, prolactin, which stimulates milk production in the mammary glands of the breast. Third, follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone regulate the gonads. The FSH stimulates follicle development in ovaries and the production of sperm and ova. The LH triggers ovulation of an egg cell in females and testosterone production in males. Fourth, thyroid stimulating hormone, TSH, or the thyroid hormone, which influences the growth and activity of the thyroid gland. Adrenocorticotropic hormone, ACTH, which regulates the activity of the adrenal cortex to secrete glucocorticoids. Next, let's look at the thyroid gland that produces thyroid hormone, which is actually 2 hormones, thyroxine and triiodothyronine. This is a hormone that affects almost every cell in the body by increasing metabolism, regulating tissue growth, and maintaining blood pressure. The thyroid also makes calcitonin, which lowers the blood calcium levels, maintaining blood pressure. And next up are the parathyroid glands that are secrete parathyroid hormone, which raise the blood calcium levels. Calcium levels are involved in cell signaling, among many other things. Then there are the adrenal glands, which are each comprised of an inner adrenal medulla and outer adrenal cortex. Mineralocorticoids are like aldosterone, regulate ion concentrations like sodium and potassium. They also stimulate the kidneys to regulate water and electrolyte balance. Glucocorticoids like cortisol and cortisone influence metabolism by keeping blood glucose levels consistent, and they also maintain blood pressure by influencing vasoconstrictors. Glucocorticoids help resist long-term stressors by increasing blood glucose levels and have anti-inflammatory properties. And gonadocorticoids are sex hormones like androgens, which are typically converted into testosterone and estrogen. The adrenal medulla, on the other hand, synthesizes catecholamine like epinephrine and norepinephrine. This prepares the body to deal with short-term stress, fight or flight. During emergency situations, by increasing heart rate, blood pressure, and blood glucose levels, which are good for evading danger, thymus produces thymosin, which matures some types of the white blood cells and important in developing the immune system. Then there is the pineal gland. found in found in the, encep- the encephalon of the brain. This produces melatonin, which helps regulate the circadian rhythm, which involves the body's sleep-wake cycle. The pancreas, which produces insulin and glucagon, which are antagonists that maintain blood sugar homeostasis. Insulin is released when blood glucose levels are high. It reduces blood glucose levels. Glucagon is released when blood glucose levels are low. It stimulates the liver to release glucose to blood, thus increasing blood glucose levels. Finally, the gonads produce sex hormones. The ovaries produce estrogen and progesterone, whereas the testes produces several androgens. The most important is testosterone. Estrogens stimulate the development and maintenance of secondary female sex characteristics and matures the female reproductive organs, with progesterone. Estrogens also promote breast developing and regulate menstrual cycle. Progesterone promotes growth of uterine lining in preparation for the implantation of an embryo in the uterus and helps prepare breast for lactation. Androgens support sperm formation and the development and maintenance of male secondary sex characteristics. That's all. Thank you.